Action movies are famous for featuring fast-paced, pulse-pounding stunts. These harrowing yet thoroughly enjoyable to watch high-stakes sequences are frequently the main draw of such films. Some actors insist on doing their own stunt work. This is often the case with macho action movie stars who insist on earning every last penny of their paychecks. But then you have Hollywood hotshots like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt who could easily afford to let someone else do all the death-defying stunt work, but instead insist upon doing the majority of their big-screen stunts. Join Factsverse as we discuss a few of these actors who got badly injured while doing their own stunts. George Clooney. While filming Syriana, George decided to forego bringing in a stunt performer while shooting a scene that involved being bound to a chair and getting the tar beaten out of him. Unfortunately, the chair fell over while he was strapped to it, resulting in the actor hitting his head hard against the floor. Clooney ended up tearing his dura, the sac that holds your spinal fluid. For months and even years after the incident, the actor was left in a tremendous amount of pain and even considered ending his life at one point. Fortunately, he has since recovered. Ellen Burstyn. On the set of 1973's The Exorcist, Burstyn was seriously injured while doing some wire work. Not only was the room that the exorcism was filmed in kept at a very low temperature, so the effects crew didn't have to use too much fog, but there were several other occupational hazards as well. In one scene, the girl who was possessed by the demon pushed her mom, played by Burstyn, aggressively to the floor. Since the director wanted to make the fall look realistic, they used a wire rig to pull Burstyn to the ground. After the first take, Burstyn landed hard, but she told the director she knew the scene had to look as convincing as possible. That being said, she suspected she could be injured if something went wrong. Well, Burstyn called it, because after landing particularly hard in the following takes, she was left with lasting spinal injury. Michelle Yeoh. While running across rooftops for an action scene in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Yeoh tore her ACL and needed surgery to repair it. For the remainder of production, she had to wear a brace that couldn't be seen on camera. It took her 3 months to recover before she was ready to get back into the action. Tom Hanks. Tom almost died during the filming of Castaway. At one point, he cut his leg. He developed a pretty gnarly staph infection. His doctors informed him that if he had gone on much longer without seeking medical treatment, he very well could have been killed by the infection. The wound probably didn't seem like it was that big of a deal to the veteran actor, who insisted on continuing to film. But when he finally received treatment, he had to be hospitalized for 3 days, and the movie's production had to be shut down for 3 weeks, since Hanks couldn't enter the water with his open wound. Before we tell you more, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Viggo Mortensen. While filming Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings trilogy, Viggo Mortensen, who played Aragorn, was injured several times. One of his worst injuries was sustained when they filmed a scene in which Aragorn delivered a rousing pep talk to the company he was leading outside of Mordor. The location where it was shot was previously used by the New Zealand military for training purposes. This means the crew had to draw up a map of safe zones showing where the actors could go without accidentally blowing themselves to smithereens. While filming, Mortensen decided to do a bit of improvisation and strolled outside the safe zone. Fortunately, none of the buried bombs detonated, but he could have died if they'd been triggered. Additionally, he sustained a black eye while he was learning how to surf on an off day from shooting. On another occasion, he chipped a tooth while filming the Battle of Helm's Deep. Reportedly, he requested the piece of tooth get glued back on so he could finish shooting the scene. Tom Cruise. While shooting a scene for Mission Impossible Fallout that involved him jumping from one building to another, Cruise banged his ankle against a wall. He sustained a broken ankle, but the take was still used in the final cut of the film. Brad Pitt. While filming the 2004 Greek mythological Trojan War film Troy, in which he played the hero Achilles, Brad Pitt figured if he was going to be playing one of the greatest ancient warriors of all time, he might as well do his own stunts. To prepare, he hit the gym and bulked up. If he was to do his own stunts, he at least wanted to look the part. Ironically, while filming the movie, Pitt injured his Achilles tendon. He suffered the injury while filming a fight scene that took place in sand. The film's production had to be shut down for 6 weeks to allow the Fight Club actor to heal. Burt Reynolds. Burt Reynolds didn't just play the part of a tough guy, he was a tough guy. The mustache-wearing sex symbol chose to do the majority of his own stunts in the 70s and 80s, despite the fact that his trusty stuntman Hal Needham was always on standby. While filming Deliverance, Reynolds was determined to do the scene in which his character's canoe plunges over a 25-foot waterfall on his own. The director, John Boorman, wanted to use a dummy or stunt double for the risky action scene. While filming, Reynolds almost drowned and ended up being rushed to the ER. Years later, he finally admitted the failed stunt changed his life forever. Apparently, after he went over the waterfall, he hit a rock and cracked his tailbone. Before doing the scene, one of the stunt guys told him if he were to get caught up in the hydrofoil, his best bet was to swim to the bottom and it would shoot him out. What he wasn't told, however, was that it would be like getting shot out of a cannon. When he finally emerged from the water, he was nearly half a mile away and naked. The falls had torn his clothing and shoes off. While he might have lost his wardrobe and sustained a serious injury, at least he didn't lose his life. Kate Winslet. This Academy Award-winning actress nearly drowned while filming Titanic. The incident that nearly claimed her life happened during a water scene after her coat got caught on a gate while she was underwater. Winslet later said she had to shimmy out of the coat to free herself. She had no breath left and barely managed to get out of the coat before losing consciousness. Jackie Chan. Throughout his career, appearing in more than 150 films, martial arts master and filmmaker Jackie Chan broke almost every bone in his body. But even though he regularly got injured on the set of his movies, Chan insisted on doing all of his own stunts. While shooting the 1986 Hong Kong action flick The Armour of God, which Jackie had both written and directed, he sustained one of the worst injuries of his career. He lost several teeth, broke his jaw, skull, and nose, and also suffered a serious brain hemorrhage in a stunt that on paper didn't even pose a high degree of danger considering his skill set. He sustained these injuries after attempting to leap from a wall to a tree. He wasn't able to safely grab onto the tree's limb and wound up tumbling to the ground from a height of 40 feet. To make matters worse, Chan was intoxicated while filming the scene. He insisted on drinking real beer while shooting the sequence so the audience could see the fizzy drink's carbonation. After attempting the jump successfully in one take, he decided to give it another go to see if he could make it look more realistic. Before going for round 2, however, he tipped back another beer to prep. Likely, if he wasn't inebriated, he would have successfully pulled off the second jump without incident. After being rushed to the hospital, surgeons repaired Jackie's fractured skull and stopped the bleeding. Once he recovered, he continued to perform his own stunts in his films. Leonardo DiCaprio. While filming a fight scene for Django Unchained, Leo slammed his fist against a table. In the process, his hand broke a glass that had been sitting on the table. He kept in character, but was left with a bloody gash that required several stitches. Now it's time to hear from you. Which one of these stories was most surprising to hear about? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content. By the way, if you haven't joined Facts First as a member yet, be sure to look below this video and click the join button. By becoming a paid member of Facts First, you'll get access to exclusive video content that you won't find anywhere else. This includes some of our more mature content that isn't suitable for public audiences, which includes topics like Hollywood actresses who posed for Playboy and some of the steamiest moments in movie history. Plus, you can enjoy these videos completely ad-free. Our biggest fans will notice they also get badges next to their name when they leave comments on our videos. We pay special attention to comments from our members, and so do other viewers. So if you want exclusive content from Facts First or inside access to discussions with other community members, click the join button to get started for just $4.99. There are hours of members-only videos waiting for you, with new videos added every month. And we're actively working on bringing even more features to help fans like you connect with other members and get more of your favorite content. Just click join, and we'll see you inside the membership tab.